could anyone see a combo package of Shedeur and Coach Prime?
I mean, when I present this as an idea for the Patriots, you get all mad at me. Now you're presenting this idea for the Raiders. Who could now imagine if they could have Travis Hunter too?
A quarterback.
Well, right. So
You don't want that.
I think that if you're the Raiders and you're surveying your divisional landscape, you're like, okay, well, there's the Chiefs. They have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. That's tough to deal with. And there's the Chargers, who have Jim Harbaugh, who I just think objectively is one of the absolute best football coaches, I'll go and say it, of my lifetime. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but as far as his ability to win on multiple levels in multiple situations, even if he doesn't stay that long, I think he's a great coach. And Herbert, we know the talent, and we'll see if he can fully realize it. It's like, oh yeah, Sean Payton too. He's pretty damn good, and I don't know what Bo Nix's ceiling is, but if Sean Payton can just get this year out of Bo Nix for the next 8 years, that's pretty damn good as well. I think 8 years from now, Bo Nix is around 40, so that's probably around when it's over. But so, the point is this: you gotta take huge swings. You're like, so I don't know that I believe in Shedeur as a top 5 pick. I'm not certain of that. I think there's real pluses and minuses. And I don't know if what makes Deion so special as a college coach would work in the pros. He's not really recruiting the way there is in college, and it's more about just how much money are you paying me, which maybe college to a degree is now too. But as a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't love it. I'd much rather them, hire Liam Cohen and draft the best tackle on the board.
Yeah, put Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think it would be a big swing, and they have to take big swings.
Go ahead, Coach. I was in terms of talking about Jim and his ability to win at every level. One of the things that's impressed me about Deion is his ability to go into two different, radically different situations and win. And Colorado football was dead and irrelevant, and he's so far. Well, I mean, they're so far removed from anybody discussing him in any sort of meaningful context, and he's completely revitalized the program. He's made him not just relevant, but competitive. And when you hear him talk and relate, he's got a lot of values that are traditional football values, with also an ability to connect with kids and with younger players. And I think that has real value in the NFL, and it has probably even more value as NIL money comes into play, because the mentality is going to be different with guys coming into the league that are now millionaires as opposed to chasing those dreams.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, without doing an in-depth scouting report on Shedeur, which they'll do, obviously, I love getting Deion and Shedeur. The thing I like about Shedeur is we know he didn't have a great offensive line. And a lot of times you see some of the guys come out of college that were in great programs where their receivers were better than the opponent's defensive backs. Their line was better. Everything was great.
We call that the Mac Jones.
Well, that's one example, though. Your first option's always open, your second for sure, so you don't have to go through progressions. I mean, he had some good skilled players at Colorado with him, but he wasn't in a great situation as far as offensive line, and he had a great career there. So I think put him in the NFL, he should play well.
Okay, let's talk about this. I'm not 100% prepared to talk about, how good will Shedeur be in the NFL? How good of a coach will Deion be? I have legitimate concerns about both of them, more because of their personalities. We've consistently seen personalities like this not do well in the NFL. It's just a fact. It's just an absolute fact. We've consistently seen these types of personalities just not thrive. And that's a problem. And so, yeah, you do want to take a big swing if you're Vegas, but this is where you have Tom Brady in the fold now. And I don't think that these all-time great players and coaches necessarily always know what to do, because their path to success was so specific. Tom Brady's path to success was so specific that I'm not so sure that Tom Brady would necessarily have the ability to guide a high school team to a championship, because again, it's just so specific. We see this with all greatness. right? Jeff Bezos knows how to run Amazon and create Amazon. Doesn't mean that he knows how to successfully run a paper company in Scranton. Like it's just all very, very, very specific. And we've seen this a lot. We've seen a ton of these all-time great players try to become coaches, GMs, etc., and it never quite works out very well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So there's no guarantee. But my big swing, if I'm Vegas, would be whatever you say, Tom. Whatever you want us to do. I'm giving you the reins, actually. What do you want us to do? Who do you think should be our coach? What do you think we should do from a quarterback perspective? I'm giving Tom Brady a few-year window and saying, guide us, man. My best efforts have gotten us not where we want to be. So I'm trusting Tom Brady now. That's what I'm doing. That is my big swing. Whatever Tom says, we're going to do. If Tom says get Shedeur and Deion, all right, I'll make it. I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. If not, then it's like, he says get, John Smith and draft, I want John Smith, but I want Shedeur as, my quarterback. I'd say, great, we'll do that. We'll coach John Smith and we'll get Shedeur. I want Deion, but not Shedeur. Okay, great. We'll get Deion, but we won't draft Shedeur. Like, whatever Tom Brady says. That's what I'm doing. That's my big swing. My big swing is not to be like, let's just take a swing on Deion and Shedeur and see what happens. It's I'm going to listen to see what Tom has to say. That's what I would do. It just, the Raiders right now are too messy, and I love that they fired Antonio Pierce because it was obvious that he was not the coach for them. And it was obvious that you need to make a move. You need to make a change. And I do agree. You do have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And you do have Justin Herbert and Harbaugh. And you do have Bo Nix and Peyton. Those are all obviously great and elite and special coach-quarterback duos. They just are. And obviously Sean Payton and Bo Nix is kind of more up and coming. But we know what Sean Payton's able to do. We know that. He's not going to be directing that team downward. So the Raiders can't just stabilize. They have to go upward. Otherwise, you're going to consistently just be in the fourth place. There's the chance that you can maybe sneak in via the wild card. But again, playing those three teams in your division, those are going to be 6 tough, brutal games. Not to mention, because of the seeding, how these things unfold and how good these teams will be, there'll be great chances that if you can right this ship and get into the playoffs, you will be facing one of those teams in the playoffs, like in the first round. Definitely the second round. Like those are all real things that could happen. So you need to have a coach and a quarterback that can hold their own. Even if you have an all-time great quarterback, even if you were able to draft the next quarterback who is going to be truly special, you need a coach as well. Or the other side of that, you can get an all-time great coach, but then you need another great quarterback to be able to do it as well. So that's the swing that I'm looking to take. And I don't know if it's just Deion and Shedeur. I know they're the most popular right now, but man, that could get messy quick. Deion and Shedeur, father and son, Vegas, that could get messy quick. They did not show the maturity in college, especially Shedeur. And I do think of some of the things that Deion did in college will not work in the pros. I think players will buy in, sure, but to a degree. And again, Vegas is Vegas. Vegas is Vegas. Things could get messy quickly. You need to be mature. You need to be a grown-up. You want to know why Sean Payton had so much success with Bo Nix and exceeded the expectations and even exceeded Nick Wright's expectations? Because of Bo Nix's maturity and his intelligence and his work ethic. That's why. Bo Nix has consistently been able to punch up above his weight. But those players that have kind of, you have some questions about, they consistently struggle, at least in the beginning of their career. We've seen it again and again and again and again and again. I'm not going to name names. You know the names. And before you try to make this something that it's not, because I already know some of these people are going to come out there, they always do. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. Those are 2 of my examples, all right? So don't make it something that it's not. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you think they should do this? That they should try to get Deion and Shedeur, Sanders and Sanders? Do you think there's another move for them to make? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.